Hey everybody, how we doing today? So welcome back to another rigging day of the solo skiff. Wham! Today we are going to be working on lights, our navigation lights. So I picked up a couple things. This is the front red green, bam, and then I've got a 360 light, 3 nautical miles, so it'll be nice and bright. Also what I bought is a smaller 5 amp hour battery. This one that I have been using is actually my spare battery for my, well, motorcycle. So I always have 2 of them in case the one dies. Oh, this is a 12 amp hour. The main reason being is, one, this one comes in at over 10 pounds for that battery box. And this little 5 amp hour that I got is only 3 pounds 12 ounces, so considerably a third of the weight, and that's going to help things out across the board. Also, primarily I just needed something to hook the lights to, so I wanted a small battery pack, and then I figured, why don't I just go to like a moderate size battery pack, then I could use that to power the my live well pump during the day, and then when I run back in the evening at nighttime, I could just switch it out and then use it for my lighting, and that'll work out perfect, because this battery this will last weekends and weeks on the draw that it would do for just these lights and a little bit of live well stuff. I figured most of my fishing trips are 4 or 5 hours, or maybe for a couple hours I would use the live well, if that. Otherwise I would be coming home at nighttime most of the time in the evenings. I'd have to use lights for about an hour or 2, so there's no way I would even use this much power if I did 3 hours on the live well, then an hour or 2 on the lights. That small one would be totally fine. Less dimensions wise, size wise, and then a lot less weight. So I'm going to set that one up for my just daily runs. But days that I know that I'm going to be doing strictly live baiting, and I'm going to load up the well and I'm just going to be running it full time, then I could bring in the big boy. So what that's going to entail though is that since I had used these replaceable pigtails, I could just put the same pigtail onto this one and it will connect to my systems that I've already installed for the live well. So for the short term, I'm going to have a plug like this, well, this plug that goes and powers the live well, but I'm also going to do one that attaches to the lights, so that it'll be a manual setup that when I want to switch between the two, I'm going to have to just unplug it and go back and forth, because most of the time I'm not going to be using the live well at nighttime if I'm coming back home. In the future, I probably will switch to a power bar and rig it up so it's all hardwired in, but I don't want to run another big switch for just the lights because I won't be using it very often. So I might just go with a smaller light later, have a power bar, and just minimalize everything, have everything on a separate circuit and go from there. But for now, this will work fine for what I do. In my kayaks, this is the setup I use. I use these handheld navigation lights, 360 light. The 360 light on the back next to my rod holders, I've got a small not a stick, bar or something like that that's got a threaded head on it, so this screws into it, and that's my 360 light in the behind me. And then this one I actually just stick in my rod holder, and that works fine there. So that's what I do, and then I just keep them in my dry box with my other safety gear, and then just when I need it I pop them out, because a lot of times I actually don't run them unless I'm in a boating area, because needlefish will jump at the light and I'm so low at the water, plus I'm running on the motor, I can get killed that way or poke an eye out. So usually I'll shut them off even when I'm running. If I notice some other boats around, then I'll turn them on, but otherwise that's the system I was thinking about using, and adapting it by putting another stick, making a mount up here and doing it that way. But I figured this is more boat style, so I'm going to kind of rig it that way and just have everything a lot cleaner and hardwired in. So that's why I got the navigation light, 360 light. This is actually going to be removable, so it's going to have the powered base, and then when I want to, I could stick that into it and then it lights up. When I don't want it, then I could keep it in my storage up front and out of the way and ready anytime that I need it. So that'll be my 360 light. But otherwise, that's what we're going to work on today. All right, so like usual, I'm going to start on something easy. Since I have this front hatch, I can install a light very easily because I could reach under and basically get at it. I'm actually going to not really need to do that, but otherwise there's no, on the solo skiffs, there's no access except for that middle hatch. To try to get this installed here would be very difficult, but not a problem since I have this here. All I've got to do is drill a hole in the center for the wires to go, and this is a sticker, double-sided tape, so I could just stick it there, or I could screw it in, or what I'm going to do is do both. So I need to do is connect the wires to my 16 gauge wires here, make it the length so that it basically runs to this length, so it gives me a little bit of room, and go ahead and mount this. I need to attach those wires before I start feeding them though, and that'll let me determine what size hole I need to drill for that, and then that'll be done. Then this 360 light is going to go back here. I need to clear the reels, so it's got to be set back a little bit. I'd love to have it right next to it, but because of the I'm gonna check. I'm gonna put my reels in here, see if I have a clear opening right here. If I do, I'll mount it here. If not, I've got to kind of set it back a little bit, but let me check that real quick. Okay, that's going to be fine, so I can run it right there. I'll just have to have it a little bit offset in the center because it would hit that, so just a little bit up like that, and that'll be clearing it fine. All right, tight right about there. Just got to clear that, and then this extends double, so it'll be within the rods, but that's okay. And then even if I don't run my fly rod, this will be the fly rod one, but even the regular reel inside there, it won't make a difference because the reel is on this side and it would still be out of the way. So all right, we're good there. The good thing is I'm keeping that clutter in nice and tight, so it's really not expanding out, which I'm going to like. Challenges is I have that same issue that it was by building these, is that this is sloped at an angle, downward angled, but I know what that angle is, so I'm going to have to just basically make a new base that's basically 6 degrees, like a wedge, so that it'll make a smooth, not smooth, but a flat platform that base will drill into and go down into this with as well, so that this pole will go straight up and down and not at an angle because of this angle. But yeah, that's going to work fine. All right, just basically went ahead and joined the 2 wires together, drilled a hole, and then made it kind of oblong to fit this, so it just basically force fits through there. Then I could just string it through by reaching through here, the good old hatch, and bringing it through. So let me do that. And then before I do that, I need to try to force these joints in there individually. So let me see if I can do that first. All right, there we go. And I have a little adjustment. I had to make it an oval, but that's fine. Now I just need to center this unit. It's got double stick tape and 2 screws go through there, so I'm gonna shoot that in and then try to eyeball it straight and then press it down and screw it in. All right, mounted. I think it's straight. It's eyeball straight at least. So there we go. kind of cool is that it illuminates on the top so you can see if they're on or not by just looking up here. But wires down there, I just got to fish it there and then start working on our 360 light. All right, now we're going to work on this mount for the 360 light, but I have to be able to get it so it's straight up and down like the pipes are, even though the base is crooked. So what I'm gonna have to do is make an adapter, a 6 degree wedge that's going to allow me to center this. So let's go back to the workshop and see what we can work with here. It's got to go like that. All right, so here's my stash of stuff. Bottom is metal, got small wood. Then this is the small artificial, the plastic stuff. Some cutting boards, and I guess I can do cutting board maybe. Otherwise, I've got all these pieces. This is the stuff that I glued 3 pieces together. But this might work for us. Yep, that'd be the one. All right, let's see if we could work this. All right, that's horrifying, but I got the cut through. You can see it's at about a 6 degree angle there, but that's how I just basically pushed it through. I only need that length there, so let me pull it out and I'm going to check to see if that is going to be sufficient or not. Not the way to use your table saw, but it worked. All right, there we go with our little wedgie. But I think it's too much of an angle slightly. I did go about 7 degrees, so I need to back it down a degree or 2, or at least to try to get it somewhat aligned with that center board on my rod holders. So let me grind it down just a hair, see if I can do that. All right, there we go. I think we've got it. That looks pretty straight to me. So that's going to be called good enough. So now I just need to take this in, drill a hole here so it fits on there. And then once I've got these two mated together, then I could figure out and do a hole placement on here. So nice, coming along. All right, a little adapter is finished. I have to go and get longer screws, that's the only thing, but otherwise that is magic. Actually, I think I'll paint it and then run to Home Depot, or should I? Well, while the light is still up, I'm gonna go ahead and drill the hole, the main hole for this to recess into, so I can kind of sit it there. Then I'll take it apart, paint this adapter, do it black or blue, and then go to Home Depot and get the screws. So that's our plan. All right, another hole for the skiff. Got to put a hole right around there to fit that down in its neck. So close your eyes, we're gonna make a hole. Look at all my beautiful shavings. I'm gonna save those. I had to use the spade bit because this thing's all warped, so it's okay. I'm gonna need to do a little bit of a notch here, so let me grab that. All right, there we go. How we liking it? We're flush there. I need to get longer screws, but that is gonna be what it is. I like it. There's my adapter after it's painted black. Looks pretty good, and that keeps me straight. So I'm gonna finish wiring this up, and then I could start finish drilling this in and just be done with it. All right, there we go. It's all mounted. That's fully extended. And then I could loosen this and slide it down so it's like there, or I basically just twist and this comes out. I plug the hole there, protect the contacts, and it's inconspicuous. So there. I like it. So now we got both units set up. I've got to find the wire. There's the wire for that one. And then I should have a wire for this one somewhere. Oh, okay, I still need to run this one down. I still got to run that one down, so let me do that real quick, and then I just need to combine them and then run and then do a pigtail like this with this same end on it. So let me do that here. So if you ever have to run wiring somewhat medium distances, one of the best things for that is actually an old fishing pole. So I basically bent the wire around the tip of a fishing pole and bent it. I went through the top down so it would be pressure and I could push on it, and then just ran the fishing pole through my little hole here because it's flexible, and then I pull it out and my wire is run. Hoarding fishing poles, that's what it's good for. All right, so that's our wiring there. I basically connected the two different lights negatives, two different lights positive, and then connected it to this pigtail positive negative. So everything should be combined. I'm using the threaded end just like that one, which is for the live well. So let me grab the battery pack and we can test it. All right, so I've got the pigtail connected now. So from my lights to the big battery box through that coupler, same as that coupler for the live well. Then I got on my switch, I kick it on, and we've got lightage. So that's on there, off, on, and we've got our navigation lights. Red on this side, green on this side. So that works good. But now what I need to do is go build the small battery box. So let's work on that. All right, finished the battery box there. So we got our 5 amp hour 12 volt battery, put an inline fuse, ran it through my dry box here. So that'll keep it somewhat watertight. And then I just have my pigtail with the end that will connect to the live well or the lights. So let's try it out. Oh no, it doesn't work because I put an inline fuse, but I didn't have a fuse in it. So let me see if I have any mini fuses, and I do not. So off to the store I go. All right, so I got a 5-pack of some 5 amps for $7, but we're fused, so oh, we're working. We are working. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so cover on, drop that in there. I was gonna stick a foam insert in there, but with all this wire in there, it's not gonna bounce around. I don't have to worry about it bouncing around very much. So it's an on or off situation based on if it's hooked up or not. So when I don't want the lights, I unplug it, and that's basically it. And then if I want to turn the live well on, then line it up, tighten this up, and hit the button. And it's pumping. So that's how we're going to use it. The pump has a switch, the lights don't have a switch yet, primarily because I am not done with electronics. So there's another 1 or 2 things that I'm going to hardwire, so I think I'm going to wait till then. I don't use lights very often, and they're either going to be on the whole time until I'm done, or I'm not going to be using it. So it's not really a big concern right now to have to add a switch. I might, we'll just have to see if what the estimated due on the next step will be. But for now, this will work fine. At the minimum, I could put in a small little micro switch or something probably on this side, just out of the way, just a little toggle switch just to kick it specifically for the lights. But I think this will be fine. The only reason why I would like a switch is a lot of times I will not run with the lights. One being bugs. The lights attract the bugs. If you're by any mangroves or at the launch and you have the lights on, bugs are just going to be on you like that. So it's nice to be able to have it off then. As well as when I'm running, a lot of times you get needlefish and stuff will jump at the light, and then you have to worry about that. So that's the only issues by not having it on and off, and that would be the only reason why I would want a toggle switch. But otherwise, I think we're good to go. So like, this will just basically be in there. I have a tie off, so I could put a little strap to tie it down so it doesn't lose it, but otherwise we're good. And there we go, just put a little bungee cord on it so it could slide wherever it wants to go and it's not going to get lost. So I'm going to call that done. All right, so like usual, you're not really done until you test it. So we'll wait for the sun to start getting down, and then we're going to do a little bit of night boating. Romantic. All right, it's nighttime. Let's check this out. Bam, we are lit up. It's got a nice cool glow there. Definitely easy to see that it's working. Nice and bright, red and green. That's a 3 nautical mile rated light. It lights everything up. Nice. So we'll call that good. And I am happy. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.